Hello students, welcome to the English class. Well students, we have already completed with the video lecture on the explanation of the story Should Wizard Eat Mommy. We have done line by line explanation. I hope you all have gone through the video lecture and you all are having no other doubts on that explanation. Students, today I am going to present a PPT video on where I am going to analyze some of the important aspect of the story. So let's start with the presentation. In these PPT slides, we are going to discuss on the aspect of adult versus children, that is adults' perspective and children's perspective. The two endings that the story of Roger the Skunk provides. We are going to also see the title of the story. We will be dealing or we will be discussing about Jack's ugly middle position and of course of the content that is half old 10 and half new Ivory. It is obvious to find a marked difference in an adult's perspective on life and that of a child's, because a child is considered as a form of God, as its heart is very pure and innocent. It doesn't know what is wrong or what is right. There is no bad intention in the child's mind behind doing any deed. It just does it because its perspective on life, its actions and reactions are natural and not guided by any past experiences. A child speaks from the heart what seems to be ethically and morally correct. In the case of an adult, its perspective is based on what it has learned over the years, the expectations of society, and similar other experiences. It also knows the worth of originality. So it thinks according to the situation and takes a good decision on the basis of right or wrong. It is interesting to contrast the two endings of Roger Skunk's story. Jack's ending of the story is quite mature and practical. It points out the harsh realities that one has to go through in life. The world is based on individual differences. Every species of animal has its distinct features, which must be respected and accepted in totality. Moreover, parents know what is best for their children, and their decisions should be respected and obeyed. Jo wanted the story to end happily. She wanted Roger Skunk's problem solved and expected that he would live happily, playing with his new friends. This ending too is justified when we look at it from a child's point of view. As a child, Jo was unable to understand the worth of one's originality and individuality. Besides, it is difficult for children to understand or explain unhappy endings. Thus, both endings are justifiable. If we see the title, Should Wizard Hit Mommy, it poses a question. Which is the correct viewpoint? Should the wizard hit the mommy, or should the mommy hit the wizard? The title is quite significant. The question mark in the title, Should Wizard Hit Mommy, focuses the reader's attention on the two well-wishers of the main character, Roger Skunk. The wizard solves Roger Skunk's problem of bad smell and gives him the smell of roses at his request. The skunk's mother is angry because her baby has been deprived of the bad odor which a skunk of his age should emit. This bad odor is a sort of armora protection against predators who are kept away by the dirty smell. The mother skunk hits the wizard on the head and forces him to restore the foul smell to the skunk. Jo, the 4-year-old girl for whom the wizard is a real good doer, can't digest his humiliation at the hands of a stupid mother. From her point of view, the smell of roses made skunk popular among the other little animals. The story The story can take either direction and ending depending on the point of view of the adult or child. The author very cunningly seeks the reaction of his readers by putting a question mark at the end of the title. One may approve of it or reject it. Thus, the title is quite convincing and appropriate one. Jack feels caught in an ugly middle position as he could not help his wife Claire in painting the woodwork, because at that time he was busy in narrating the story to his daughter. So, Claire must be angry with him. Here, it is important to note that the story also presents the unsettling of gender roles, while at the same time revealing the male psyche and Jack's chauvinistic attitude. Secondly, Jack could not convince his daughter that the ending of the story was proper and acceptable. As Jack tells the story, his child Jo strongly expresses, both by words and gestures, what she thinks about how the story should end, which is contrary to what Jack had narrated, but which is according to the principle that the child must respect the mother and do what she says. Jack realizes that what Jo has asked for will not be proper. That is why he feels caught in an ugly middle position of having to decide whether to change the ending of the story or not. So, he defers this decision to another day. In this story, it is clearly indicated that both Jack and Claire had different ideologies. Jack used to follow his mother's ideas that parents were always right and loved women, hanging on his words, whereas Claire was an independent and tactful woman, which is indicated on several occasions in the chapter. For example, when Claire sees that Jack took longer than usual to put Jo to bed, she doesn't ask straight away the reason for the delay. She rather inquires by saying that was a long story. And when she sees that Jack is taking longer than usual, she doesn't wait for him and starts painting the furniture herself. So the last line indicates that both Jack and Claire, although being a couple, were poles apart. They are bound to each other in a cage of marriage, which is metaphorically represented by the woodwork and moldings. Both had different ways of bringing up Jo and inculcating values in her. So this difference of perspective makes Jack tired and he wants to flee away from the cage of marriage in which he is stuck with his wife. Students, I hope you have understood the various aspects of the story, the various facets which is actually the underlying theme of the story. Please go through the PPT video. If you have still any doubt, clarify it from me. Thank you all. Study well.